Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast all about beer and games. I'm Ben. I'm here with Lucy.
Hello, 2019.
Ah, yes, your first appearance of the new year.
And the last.
No, what? Jesus. Well, I think you made me peak right off the bat. Yep, look at that. This was a peak.
Brilliant. More work for me. And, obviously, Mr. Aadil Kurji.
Yeah, I'm pretty obvious. Look, I'm wearing a beer shirt because we're recording things.
Someone's prepared.
Nice.
I'm also not in my normal space in the last night in my apartment because the light in the dining room died, and so now I'm awkwardly lounging on a couch.
Oh, you're doing that about 2 weeks ago, though.
Oh, that's because there was work being done on the house, and they had moved all the things because they were painting and fixing things.
I like this laid-back approach that you have. It's very... Yeah, I like it. It sounds like... Well, not sounds... Well, it sounds for some people, but looks like, Saturday night talk show.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Well,
You're not going to get that from me in my wooden chair.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes when I figure out where I can record in the new place, because I haven't even thought about strength of internet.
Something to consider over the weekend, perhaps.
Yes.
So, it is 2019. Last week, you guys heard or saw Aadil and I discussing our most anticipated games of the coming year. So, we're going to jump to Lucy to start with her anticipated games of this year.
And in anticipation of my most anticipated games, I actually wrote a list. So
Nice, good. We're also going to drink some beers.
Oh, there we go. I was like, are we skipping straight to topic one?
Oh, God,
we're going
no.
to drink beers.
Yeah, I was sorry. The way you're saying, you're like, and then Lucy, you tell us right away. I'm like, but I'm
No,
already thirsty.
we need
not
beer
right away.
first.
My
That's gonna be the
rampant
first.
alcoholism. What a
Aadil, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the second of my Christmas beers from Ben. From
Oh.
Tempest Brewing.
Aw,
The Marmalade
So
on
sweet.
Rye IPA.
from Tempest.
It says flavor. Oh, good lord. Flavor text is a recipe. 9%, 1 ton of barley, 200 kilos of rye, zest of 200 oranges, 8 cups of ginger, 70 pounds of your favorite orangey hops, 60,000 billion yeast cells, combine ingredients in a large bowl, mash together thoroughly, boil for an hour in a million BTU, gas mark 5, cool, ferment, and enjoy. Or just drink ours.
Yeah, nice. I hope all of that is in just that one bottle.
Yeah, it's like 60 million yeast cells and 1,000 tons of
5,000 cups of ginger. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't it if you have too much? Is it ginger, or is it nutmeg? Maybe it's nutmeg. I'm thinking
Nutmeg.
about. Yeah, you have too much nutmeg, you die.
Yeah, it's like nutmeg's the poisonous one.
Really?
Yeah.
If you have like more than 2 grams of it, you just die straight away.
Per serving, I assume. That's not like a yearly quota.
Yeah.
No, no,
Were
it's
people
total.
doing it? No,
That's
it's
why
a cinnamon.
Lifetime.
Christmas ales are so dangerous.
It was a cinnamon challenge people were doing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, like, how have people not died then? Like just eating nutmeg,
Oh, wow.
like
That is-
Tide Pods, which I learned about recently.
Crazy kids with the strip fortnight and their Tide Pod eating and stuff that they do. Lucy, what are you drinking?
I am drinking today 2 new beers from Oakham Ales.
Oh,
It's actually in a can, which is the first time I've actually seen an Oakham beer in a can.
yeah.
It's got a nice little bear on it. It's called Best Friend. It's a session IPA. It's 4.2%. Brewed with 2 of our favourite hops, Cinco and Cascade. We believe these hops are best friends. Pale gold with tropical fruit flavours and a light bitterness. That's pretty much it. Yeah, 330ml can. They just come out recently. I think I was just looking on their social media. Have you tried our new cans yet? Take a photo and participate in our competition.
Oh, do that. Do that right now.
Come on,
I'll
Lucy.
do it later. I'd rather crack it open
Participate.
and drink it, to be honest.
I think you should take a picture of the crumpled can after you've drunk it.
Yes.
To eat within your fist. Just raise the loft. It's interesting they've gone to 330ml because aren't there bottles for 40s or 500s?
500, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them a lot in like supermarkets, like their Inferno and their just their standard IPA, the green one. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so interested to see. I haven't really had a new Oakham Ales beer in quite some time, so
No,
We'll
no,
see.
it's got to be a couple of years, I think, since I've had something new from those guys. So
yeah.
nice. I am drinking a new brewery for me this week. This is Rock Leopard Brewing Company. And the beer is the distant cousin of a Mu Mu Cat. It's an IPA. It's 6.2%. There's a little bit of flavour text. Flash the can for everybody
It's a nice
watching.
can.
Flavour text. What's this all about? Well, nobody knows or nobody is talking. What they sometimes talk about, though, is the distant cousin of the legendary Mu Mu Cat. Apparently, they even had something to do with the invention of beer. We would love to know more and hope this modern-day classic West Coast IPA will shed some light. What have you heard? Hashtag Mu Mu Cat. Or maybe it's Mu Mu. M-U-M-U. Pleasant and pronounced aromas of lemon, ripe mango, earthy pine, tropical fruit, herbal and stone fruits with medium floral and citrus tones and a clean finish. It does tell me what the hops are. Mosaic, Centennial, Columbus, Azaka. And the yeast is US 05. It's also got Pilsner malt, flaked oats and flaked wheat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new brewery for me as well. Never heard of. Was it Rock Leopard?
Yeah, Rock Leopard.
Yeah, do you think all their beers are like cat based?
I don't think they are. I saw they had
Lynx.
three. They had three in the bottle shop earlier. I think they had a session IPA, a pale ale, and this one. I don't think, just from hazy memory of this afternoon, that the other two were
Sounds like it
cats.
was weeks ago.
This has been sat in the box for days and days and days, and I don't remember. No, I don't remember. Sorry.
Fair
I'll have
enough.
to do some Googling.
Some research.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So, we'll jump back to you, Adil. How is
first
your
off,
beer?
the nose is nice and orangey, so it's got that a little bit of tart with the citrus, but not much.
Looks super red.
Yeah, it is very ready orange. It's also
like
quite
blood
opaque.
orange, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, like I've got. You can't see my other finger through it at all. On my thumb, I mean, my thumb is. I'm not holding this just with the four fingers, but you can't see the thumb. So it's quite opaque. Can't tell because my shitty camera. It is very orangey.
Okay.
It's got a nice
you'd
orange
expect.
zest to it. Yeah, but it's much more viscous. Like the mouthfeel, like it coats your mouth, which is really nice because it gives you that like almost a more marmalade-y mouthfeel with that sort of strong orangey taste. But the fact that it's coating my mouth, so I'm getting that taste all over.
Okay. Was it a rye marmalade IPA?
Yeah, and you can definitely taste that rye breadiness that's sort of in it as well. Yeah, it's. I mean, it says what it does on the tin.
Yeah.
It's got an almost gingery zip near the finish, which maybe just coming out when the other things are fading. It's got
like
quite
that
a
spiciness, like from like even like ginger beer, like got that.
Yeah, but it's just barely there. Like it's not there in the main. I think it's probably there during the main taste. It's just the other thing I'm noticing more. But the other things are fading and it's lasting a little longer. But it's got quite a short finish. Like the mouth feel is lasting longer than the actual taste.
Yeah.
But it's quite tasty. I had another thing, but I have forgotten it.
So very orangey, very tasty.
Very orangey, very tasty, nice mouthfeel. You do get that rye breadiness from them, and there is a little bit of that zippy ginger from its whatever it said 8 cups of ginger per bottle or whatever.
Oh yes, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was too busy thinking about nutmeg to notice that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, the thing
One thing I will say is I cannot tell it's 9%.
It's
I
9.
just took-
Oh, jeez.
I took a big swig just now, and then my brain was like, "Remember that's 9%," and it's like, "Shit." Yeah, it is completely masked by the taste.
Okay. Nice. That's good.
Good start.
Good but dangerous. So, Lucy, how's the Oakham?
It looks very much like a lager. Probably
Yeah.
helps that I've got it in an Australia glass, but yeah, it's completely clear. It's it's straw coloured almost.
2 fingers of head almost still on it.
Yeah. It's taken a long time to go down. It's still going down, but yeah, looks like a lager. So it is a session IPA. But if you handed this to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a lager. Smell. It's got a little bit of lemoniness on the nose, which even that suggests to me a lager as well. It's very faint though, so there's not much of the hops coming out in that. What was it? Simcoe and Cascade. Yeah, you're not really getting too much of that on the nose in terms of taste.
Yeah.
It's very light as well. When I first I did a little sip just before, whilst the head was still going down, and it tasted quite bitter. It's still got a little bit of bitterness in it, maybe more so than most people. Like, oh, I'm picking up a session IPA. They probably just want something a bit fruity, a bit lighter. I think it's a bit more bitter than I expect for a 4.2% session IPA, but in terms of like the flavour, it's very light. There's not much to it.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of lemon. Not really pick up any like other fruits like orange or pineapple or anything. I mean, I think it's only barely just like an IPA rather than a lager. Obviously, they're two very distinct styles, but this could actually trick me to thinking that it's a lager just from
Really?
the look, the taste. I think where the taste just drops is that it's very bitter, and it doesn't have that crispness that a lager does. It's still quite soft, the initial taste, but then it just molds into bitterness. I think that's the only way I'd be able to pick up, oh yeah, that's definitely an IPA rather than a lager, but it's not really blowing my socks off or anything. It's I think I'd probably prefer to pick up like an Inferno or the other standard Oakham beers, but hey, it's their first foray into cans, I guess. Not a hit for me, but it's not offensive.
Sure.
I actually like that it's very bitter, but I wish it had more fruit at the start to counteract that, balance it. But
Yeah.
if you don't like bitter beers, I'd probably stay away from this because it is very bitter. Just like talking now, having a sip for quite a few minutes, and it's like it's still sitting on there. So.
Yeah. That's fair. You've got another one from them later.
Yeah. I'll tell you what that is later, but yeah, we'll see how that is. I imagine that'll probably be a bit fruitier from the style, what it is. So.
I was going to say, it might be interesting to see kind of their foray into cans, how the different, how it changes with the different styles, whether a different style kind of ups it just that little bit. So
yeah, because I picked up a third one from them as well, so that had 3 different ones. I think they're all IPAs, but
okay.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the next one goes.
Yeah, nice. So the rock leopard, the distant cousin of a Mu Mu cat. The nose was really light. A little bit of fruit in there, but like super, super light. And the flavour as well it's not a... did it say it was a West Coast? No? Yes, a classic West Coast IPA. Again, the flavour is very... It's very light. I'm getting a lot of kind of what they describe. So it's got those piney, earthy kind of notes to it. It's got a light sort of tropical fruitiness to it, which is kind of hard to discern what that is because there's also like stone fruits in there as well. I get what they mean by the herbal kind of thing because it's a weird kind of mix of loads of stuff. The herbaliness almost comes off almost kind of like like a cold tea bag almost. And there's like a slight bit of maybe like soapiness to it as well, which kind of I think is a little bit more pronounced because of those stone fruits in there as well. They kind of are edging and leading into that kind of herbally, kind of slightly soapy kind of flavour. And it's got a little bit of a bitterness to it, but it's quite mild. So it works through these kind of different flavours and these stages, but they don't kind of flow into each other very well. I mean, it's a nice enough beer. It's very easy to drink, but the flavours kind of they jump quite a lot through it, which makes it quite odd when you kind of trying to figure all of these things out. If I was just having it as a beer and not worrying about thinking, oh, what's in this and stuff, it would be maybe. It's very
more
passable.
enjoyable.
It's very kind of easy just to chuck back.
You like a beer with a nice through line. It's like, yes, you're starting off fruity, then you go into bitter, or like, oh yes, you got coffee, then it's bitter, or a bit of sweetness amongst there. Yeah, so it's all over the place.
It is a little bit, and it kind of it's the one thing it is it's nice and wet. So I'm not kind of reaching back for it, even though there's that little bit of bitterness there, which does dry you out very slightly. I'm not kind of constantly reaching for it because I'm being dried out, which is nice. It's nice to kind of have this to kind of just sit here and drink and not have to keep going back to. But again, I'm not drawn towards it to jump back to it because of its flavour as well. When sometimes you
just sort of end up sitting there.
I mean, it probably could, to be fair. It's fine. It's fine. That's about it. Very kind of. I'll see how it is sort of more towards the end. But I'm tanking through it. I've only got like 2/3 of this glass left.
Oh, wow,
so it's going back pretty quickly, really. Whether that's just because it's kind of easy to drink and I just want to get through it, who knows?
Or like you're trying to find sort of, because the tastes are all bouncy, you're trying to see if there is a through line. Yeah,
and I think I'll have a sip and then I'm having a second sip as well, just to see what happens if I have a little sip and those flavours are starting to go through, and then I have something else, whether there's a better combination for those things once sort of my palate has kind of got, is in the mid of that flavour. If I then swig it again to see if it kind of merges a little bit more, but I don't really think it does. It kind of just starts again and cancels out kind of my last swig of it. So
I really like this beer though. I really like the beer.
I mean, wonderful can art on
yes,
mine's very like North American Thanksgiving to me.
I like
it's
Tempest.
It's got very autumnal.
So since we've moved on to the art on the cans and the bottles rather than the beers themselves, let's move on to games. So 2019, it's a new year. We have had a thought that the podcast may adapt a little bit and change for the new year, and we may become a little bit more.
Why we're kicking Lucy off the pod.
That's why she said it's her last one. She fades away.
She was just trying to own that firing, is what was going on.
Exactly. So we thought we might go a little bit more topics based, not necessarily, but still going to talk about the games that we've been playing.
I'd say coherency based, segment based.
Yeah, there you go, segment based. Okay, that's fine.
But also,
before we
from a back production inside baseball standpoint, it's easier to put ads in between segments when they're coherent.
When Beer 52 come crawling back to us, wanting those ad spaces. But before we move on to kind of any kind of topics or games we're going to talk about, Aadil and I, we spoke about the games we are looking forward to this year. So Lucy, the floor is yours to discuss or run through kind of what you're looking forward to.
Run through, because I'm sure you would have touched upon a few of these.
Which you know because you listen every week.
Of course I do. It was a riveting chat. I should really get better about listening to the ones that I haven't been on.
No, I
No, because I genuinely like what you two have to say. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here every week.
Exactly. Well, yeah,
so.
that's true.
I mean, I also think about that, and then so when it's weird when you guys mention, oh yeah, we talked about this the other week, and it was one of the weeks I missed because I missed quite a few last year because of traveling, and I was like, oh, that does sound good. Why did I listen to that episode? Oh, because I don't think about listening to this show. I just don't usually I'm living the show. And back in the day, I used to properly edit the show, and then it was like, I definitely am not going to be an official listener because I've heard this too many times.
Yes.
And I just got out of that.
Understandable. Yeah. Right, shall I run down the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want you to say of your most anticipated games, your least most anticipated game, then your most anticipated game, then your second to
Didn't you
least
make her
most
do this last year?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I like putting arbitrary algorithms.
No, that's fine. Okay, I can tell you the ones that I am curious about.
Okay.
After Party, from the guys who made Oxenfree. Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Yeah.
Never played a DMC game before. The demo on Xbox seemed cool. Seems like very over the top anime, which isn't usually my style, but looked cool enough. Pokemon game, if that comes out, or if it's just another Pokemon game, I won't be interested. Ben, you might have touched
Wait,
upon
can
this.
I put you on pause?
Yeah.
So what kind of thing would make you interested?
Pretty much what all the Pokemon fans have been like craving, which is like a more, I wouldn't say in depth like systems wise, but like not just your baby's first RPG, like more graphically intensive. Not to a certain point where it's going to look realistic. Obviously, it's not going to look like Detective Pikachu film, but you know, just a bit more full, a bit more.
Yeah, so there's that image going around, isn't there? There's that image going around of it, of the character with Pikachu next to him and a bike, and it looking out over a vista.
Yeah,
which
it
is
looks
kind
like
of
Breath of the
reminiscent a little bit of
Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'd be so into that because I haven't played a Pokemon game since Yellow because I felt like they're all the same, and it's like once you play it once, don't need to play it again.
Yeah.
And nothing in the last 25 years has like even interested me. It's like let's go Eevee and Pikachu. That interested me because I played Yellow and I liked Yellow, but it's not doing anything new other than just putting that in a 3D space, and I'd prefer 2D anyway. But anyway, yeah, that's Pokemon.
Gotcha.
I have high hopes for it, but it's like if this comes out and is something different, then I could be interested in it. Same goes for Metro and Rage 2. Bloodstained. Yeah, I don't like playing open world first person games because A, motion sickness, and B, I don't like them.
I like the ordering of those.
Yeah.
Did you not? So you don't like the Far Cry games?
I tried playing 3. As soon as it gets out of the story bit at the start and you're into the free roam open world, 10 minutes, I was like, it's time to lie down now. I can't play this anymore.
You should play 2. 2's fantastic. It's still the best Far Cry game, but
or Blood Dragon.
Maybe.
I tried playing Blood Dragon. I think it's because I can't remember, but I'm not sure. Because at the start of Far Cry, you don't really have a gun or anything, do you? It's Far Cry 3. From what I can remember.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
If there's a gun on the screen, I'm okay. That's why I could possibly play Rage 2, but still.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I can't get immersed in the world in that way, which is weird because it's like first person. You should be able to, but I like seeing my character in respect to the world.
Right. Yeah,
and that's somehow more immersive for me. But,
well, Far Cry 2, you get malaria, and then it gives you loads of visual and auditory effects of malaria if you don't take enough, medicine and stuff. Yeah. So you could be spinning out whilst your character is also spinning out. Full immersion. Done. You don't need another game.
Sounds like me just crumpling on the floor.
That sounds like someone who writes the VR game Vertigo. And all it is shitty camera moves, such that no matter who you are, you'll fucking puke. And like, look, you puked.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did it.
The only purpose of this game.
Also, can you imagine puking with a VR headset on? Like, or just feeling like you actually were going to puke? Being like,
I mean, standing on like a tall building with a VR headset on is kind of enough, really, to give you
wait,
that.
do you mean in the VR world, in the real world? Because who's doing VR on the top of a tall building? That's an insane thing to do.
And you're actually on the ground in VR, so you've got no idea.
And you just walk off the building, you nonce. Man accidentally commits suicide. Why do they call it suicide and not an accident? Because it was so stupid a plan, he must have wanted to die.
2022, it's going to happen. That'll be a literal news story. Yeah.
It will happen. Lucy, I can't imagine there's any VR games that are on this list. So
no. One more I'm considering picking up is the Man of Medan game, the one from Supermassive.
Yes.
Interested in that.
We mentioned that last week.
Good. I thought you would. My actual list.
Oh yeah, that was your curious list.
Yes.
Of a dog in the forest, a dog in the night. Curious incident.
I read that. Yeah, that was interesting.
It's all right.
Yeah. Barely any remember thinking about it. But okay, my most anticipated ones. Gears 5. For sure.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait for that game.
I've never Gears
wicked.
really. I started playing the remastered of Gears 1.
Yeah, that's really the only Microsoft franchise that I care.
Not Gears Tactics or whatever it's called.
Halo Wars.
I'll leave that away. No, I don't like Halo.
Halo Wars, Halo Tactics.
Oh yeah, Crackdown's coming out as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Crackdown 3. We didn't touch that at all because
no one needs to. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is.
I brought that up
Xbox
last
franchise,
week. Yep.
Yes, cannot wait for that. Doom Eternal, another big one. Ben, I'm sure you would have spoken about that.
Yeah,
Control.
Control. We chatted about
from Remedy. Mortal Kombat 11, which is out.
Oh,
on my
we
birthday.
didn't talk about that. I am
very excited
with the new Mortal Kombat, and they're the same people who do the DC ones, right?
Injustice. Yeah, Injustice 2 was so good.
I know. I heard that from a lot of people, and I have yet to.
I completely dropped Tekken 7 to play that, and that's how good it is. Because as people might know, or maybe I've never said, I'm a very big Tekken fan. This just happens to be here. So for Injustice,
holy shit! There's a move where you can shoot a guy out of your hand.
As a model,
a woman shoots tigers out of her hand.
Yeah. Not to bring it down, but as a model,
that's pretty.
Surely that it's a badass model. But either Hiyashi or is it Kazuya, the other character? They need to be facing the same way.
I get you. Yeah, in terms of displaying it.
Yeah, for display purposes. Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to get a cabinet and it's just going to rotate.
It rotates.
Yeah.
Brilliant, yeah.
There you go. Reason to expend lots of amount of money for no reason at all.
Molded plastic.
Yeah. Anyway, Mortal Kombat. I was just so happy when that was announced. It was like, oh, my birthday, yay!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
For some reason I think it's just because I don't know much. I didn't end up playing Wolfenstein Shadow of the Colossus or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's good enough.
So the idea of like another one in the series doesn't interest me because I'm behind on it already.
I could potentially put that in my. We'll see how that goes list.
Because it looks super interesting because it's in an 80s set and it's the daughters.
Oh, is it 80s as well?
Is it 80s? Because it's the daughters of BJ, isn't
really
it?
Cool. If it's the 80s.
I'm sure it's the daughters.
Yeah, it's the daughters, but I didn't. You might well be right that it's set in the 80s. Well, even more excited now. It's set in the 80s.
It'd be interesting to see if that is a full release or as big as the previous two Wolfenstein games have been, or if it is just a smaller kind of offshoot.
To be honest, is it the Old Blood? Yeah, the Old Blood.
Yeah.
what was DLC. That was huge. That was like
It was
8 hours long. Yeah.
Yeah, but it obviously standalone. But that released quite soon after, didn't it?
I think it was the year after, maybe.
Yeah. So we're kind of we're on a similar kind of time frame, I suppose, dependent on if that does come out this year.
Yeah, I think it would have to.
Yeah,
To
I
be
think
honest,
it's supposed to. Yeah.
because you just think like, what are you doing with Mecha Hitler? That's taking you so long.
Yeah, I'm gonna hijack things again. Sorry, my brain when you kept talking about the 80s, I just thought about like 80s and 90s like wonderfully trash action movies, and I have this question for you guys, which is
Yes.
which sort of like 90s, 80s trash action movie would you want a modern
Face Off.
video game adaptation?
Face Off.
Fuck, I was gonna. So I thought Con Air would be a better game. I thought Face Off too, but I think Con Air has a better game behind it because
Just play the way out. Just play the way out. It's got even worse acting than Con Air.
No, but like you get to finish in Vegas with a set piece and a fire truck. Remember that part?
Yeah.
What could top that? You
Plus
can't really have Commando, can you? Because we've had every fucking day is Commando.
That's
Well, I was
Contra.
just thinking that actually it's probably not 80s. It says early to mid 90s. Like John Woo came in. There was his pre-Matrix.
It has to be crappy action films then.
Yeah. You can't say
Sounds
good
like
action.
just
Don't say
make a
good
Jurassic
action
Park
film.
game.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, no, I think.
Well,
yeah.
we had like you've got like the bullet time from like stuff like Max Payne and things, which kind of evoke that sense of kind of the 80s and 90s action. You know, the slow motion shots and stuff like this.
But that's mostly 1999 Matrix, right? I'm talking about the action movies
We
before
got games
that.
for that. Yeah, I'm
So,
trying
like,
to look at my DVD collection.
Where
and just
The
think,
Rock was a quintessential hard-to-beat action movie.
Yeah.
Like Die Hard was ruling the box office. Between those two sort of points.
We got Die Hard games as well.
Oh,
To be honest, we got all those games in the NES era.
Did we get
Yeah,
a Total Recall game?
Oh, I don't
Did we get a Total Recall game? Like half detective game, half
There's probably a
action
pinball
game.
machine.
Yeah, but so
Benny!
I was
Just
specifically saying
just that constantly for 4 hours. Just
I would hate a at the time Con Air game, but I think a Con Air game in a modern
Terminator 2.
console.
Terminator 2 game.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Even though that's not a crappy action film, that's one of the best
No,
films ever made.
I just meant action. I just meant
Okay, action.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, just bring back Dino Crisis. For the love
yeah.
of
Oh,
God.
that's fair.
Oh.
Okay, here's a question on the Jurassic Park game. What yeah, I'm really just making this not a clear segment after I say we're gonna have three segments.
I like these tangents.
this is now your segment. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I just start my segment and end it within other people's. What character would you want to play as in the Jurassic Park game?
You die 5 minutes in, I think. Clever girl.
All it is really is just you running through the undergrowth, the point you're going to go, clever girl, just being smashed by fucking raptors, like.
Oh, Dennis
that's
Nedry.
it. Done.
Yeah.
And it would have to be
We'll
like
do
a
an
quick
Dennis
time
Nedry.
event, like press X for clever girl.
Nedry game.
Yeah, Dennis Nedry.
Oh, it'd be great. So this is a thing you could do in like an indie sort of graphical setup. And the Nedry part of the Jurassic Park set of new games is like just a shitty hacking game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With like a really strong like QuickTime movie showing him dying at the end.
And then you have to wipe the ink off your face every time.
Exactly, yeah. It's him programming the little figure of him going,
Yeah, exactly.
It suddenly becomes a game of Hacknet. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Lucy, so the
Yes.
Dennis Nedry game that you're looking forward to may not come out this year,
But yeah, I think that's it from the big games. On Nintendo's side, Luigi's Mansion 3 if it comes out, and Yoshi's Crafted World, which has got a release date of March 29th.
so, yeah, that's meant to be coming out, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which came out on Wii, and I never played that because who owned a Wii? Really, come on.
I own the Wii.
Except for everybody.
Yeah, like Everyone owned a Wii.
Yeah.
I
didn't
imagine
buy
the
that many games.
attachment rate for games on the Wii is probably quite low.
It was two. It was like Carnival Games and Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii
Mario
Fit.
Party was pretty good.
Anyway, moving on, because Mario Party's not good.
Actually, I mean, I didn't mind. I liked some of the older ones, but I didn't think the Wii ones were especially good.
I think they're all trash.
Is the new, isn't there a new Mario Party game?
Yeah, there was. It came out last year.
Is
Mario
it
Party
new?
10.
Is it new,
Yeah.
or is it okay? It's not a
It's
port
new.
as like
No.
Mario Kart and stuff were. Right, okay.
They genuinely made a new one in 2018. The year of our Lord 2018, there was a Mario Party game.
Okay.
It's
But not
just
a
so
Wario
much
Man game.
chance. That's why I don't play Mario Kart. It's like
Yeah, I also
it's chance.
Mario Kart, the newest one, the rubber banding is really weird. I'm
Yeah.
okay with like getting fucked by items because that's what makes it a stupid game that's fun to play in parties and allows
That's a
other people to
different
catch
game,
up.
dude.
But like the fact that the rubber banding with the AI is so bad that you could be in first and then like with the hit of
it's
one
like-
object, like no matter what, you can't increase your lead, so you're still always one hit away from dropping to bottom. It's like,
Yeah.
well, no, I'm out driving them all on every turn, but I'm never outpacing them.
Yeah,
Mm.
give me Crash Team Racing or Lego Racing any day.
Well, you'll get it.
Where's Lego Racers though?
Yeah.
Where you could build your own car. Anyway, indies. Pikuniku, which is a Devolver game that's out in 2 weeks.
Well, what's it?
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Men. It's Mr. Men.
What?
Yeah,
He
it was
looks like the Mr. Men.
I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah. Just a 2D adventure game
Nice.
set in the
All right.
Mr. Men universe. It's not. But
I
yeah,
don't know
it's-
what that is.
Yeah, don't worry. You will soon when I talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I assume, from their E3 presence that My Name is Pedro is out this year as well.
Yes, that was another one on my
Oh,
list.
I don't think we brought that up last week
Yeah,
No, we
because
didn't.
the Indie Queen wasn't around.
exactly. You missed me. Ooblets, which is the
Oh yeah.
Pokemon-esque game that's coming to Xbox and PC, I believe. In the Valley of the Gods, Campo Santo's new game.
Yeah, we touched on that.
Oh, and there's I don't know if anyone follows their newsletter, but there was a great article that they wrote about your uncle working for Nintendo. I don't want to say anything else, but
Okay.
everybody just look up Campo Santo. My uncle works for Nintendo.
Okay.
I'll send it to you too after the pod.
Yes, definitely.
Great
And then we'll post it to the Facebook or the Twitter,
Ooh,
so our
good idea.
listeners
Because
can also
I
read.
was. It's like I don't, I'm not signed up to the Campo Santo newsletter because I remember saying to you, Aadil, that I was worried about this game, like just because I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I mean they
the
said
WoW
it.
acquisition and stuff. So.
Oh yes, yeah. They're probably just working on it hard at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always scheduled for 2019 when we saw it. Revealed at the Game Awards 2017. So I think they'll just say,
Yes,
2019. We're not going to talk about this for the next year.
Which I'm again mostly okay with that. It's much
Yeah.
better to know a game is being made and be like, I have no idea what's going on with it. I might not like it, even though it seemed like it was my cup of tea. Than hype cycles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks great from the little we've seen. Only a few more indies. Sayonara and Wild, which I realised today is made by the same people who did Device 6 and Year Walk, Simogo, which is Nintendo Switch game. Jenny LeClue, which is a 2D adventure game. Harold Halibut, also. That's like a
fish game.
yes. it's a
Classic
call it?
fish game.
what do you call it when they make stuff out of plasticine? Claymation.
Animation, yeah.
Adventure game. Gato Roboto, which is Metroid with a cat mech. The Untitled Goose game. Manifold Garden, which has been a long time coming. That's like a really weird Escher painting puzzle game kind of thing. That's really it. There's some really obscure indies. I mean, They're not going to bother with Whatum, which is Katamari Maker's next game, which has been absent for some time. Yeah,
What is it called?
Whatum. Whatam. It's
Okay.
an Annapurna game.
Mm.
But yeah, just I mean, I won't go too much into the ins because it's like, will this come out this year? Will it not?
Yeah.
No, so yeah, but there's many games I'm looking forward to. When they, just drop the release date of some weird game called Pikuniku and you lot have no idea about it, I'm just like, oh, look it! And you'll
Sure, and that's all anyone plays for like 2 weeks.
Oh! Sorry. Tomorrow, as of or today, whenever this goes up,
Probably going tomorrow, so release day.
today
11th of
see.
January.
we'll see how good that Hitman Blood Money remaster
yeah.
is.
Oh,
Because-
yeah.
I imagine WB might have done the heavy lifting on that and might just be farting it out without any consideration, but we'll see.
Yeah, I
As
know.
long as
when we-
IO gets some money, I'll buy it.
Yeah, when we were chatting about it, it's not necessarily the graphics I want updated. It is
It's the controls.
It's the controls. I want it to be a little bit smoother.
Yeah, and on their website it did say enhanced controls or whatever. So yeah, because I fired it up on backwards compatibility. It looks fine. It looks a bit light and washed out, but it looks fine. It's the controls that especially coming from Hitman 2016 and the 2018 2, isn't it? Weird naming convention. Anyway, it was just weird to go back, but because considering I played that on a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
What was Absolution was last gen, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. So it was more Hitman. It was cool.
So wait, there's Agent 47 to...
Are we going into this?
Silent Assassin,
Yeah.
Contracts.
Codename.
Yeah, so the first one is
Codename 47.
Codename Agent 47. The second one is
yes.
Hitman 2 Silent Assassin.
Yeah.
The third one is Hitman Contracts, which was a reworking of loads of different missions from the first and the second game.
Yeah.
Then it's Blood Money, then it's Absolution, then it's the reboot.
And they did HD.
I couldn't remember if
But
there's
it's
something
not a
in between.
reboot. It's not a reboot because one of the games, it's not Absolution, it might be Blood Money, but at the end of Blood Money, 47 and Diana are in an airport discussing how ICA have been doing something, and then that leads into the new ones?
Yes, because Hitman Absolution is set before Blood Money. I think it's set
Yeah.
before all of them. But I don't know where the new Hitman cut comes in. I thought that was even set before Absolution.
No, I thought the newer Hitmans are the end.
I love
Are
how
kind
it's
of
Hitmans and not Hitman.
the
Just
Hitmans.
but it's them no, because the Hitman is the term, and you're pluralizing it. It's a Hitman game.
A gaggle of
You know what?
Hitman.
You know what I don't care about? The story in Hitman.
the story, yeah.
I couldn't give a toss. It's because it's like in the second one I've spoken about this. They just ditched the cutscenes and just had static images, and it's yes, good.
Yeah,
put
they did,
put
yeah.
your resources where they should be.
Yeah.
I.e., not in the story.
Yeah, I thought that was a very clever idea.
Yeah.
It's this is the inverse is what Assassin's Creed does to try and make sense of how they have anything.
Just let it go, man.
Just fucking yeah, exactly. I can't stand why those games can't just be set where they're set.
Yeah, because it's still. I don't know. I haven't played. I'm not going to.
No one
I haven't played
enjoys that
one
part of
them in
that
ages.
series. No
I
one.
think,
Not
I
even
think
the
it's a
developers.
They
5
don't-
minute slot of hammering on.
I think Origins did it okay in that it gave you a break. I don't know why. Again, it wasn't needed, but it took you out of Egypt, or it took you out of the time period and brought you to the modern day character.
Yeah.
You were with her for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you went back in. It did give you, towards the end of the game, a little 5-minute mission where suddenly she's like, "Oh, I know how to do all of this stuff now, and I
know
can
Kung
kind
Fu."
of go around and kill everybody." Which
Yeah.
again, super unneeded. And obviously, I haven't played Odyssey, so I haven't got a fucking clue about
Okay.
that. But
Is there a cat in the modern era that you can pet?
not that I found.
Shite.
Yeah.
That's it.
How do you
0
have
out of
cats
10.
that you can
Love
pet and don't put them in all your time period?
That's what I disliked about Red Dead. You could pet the dogs, you could not pet the
Couldn't
cats.
pet the cats? No, no.
What?
2 out of 10.
Fuck the story. Shit.
Yeah,
This is
it's,
it. I think forget ratings. It's just shite game. That's my new term.
I like it, succinct.
Yeah.
So that's your games, Lucy. Your anticipated
I think
games.
that should be my topic as well.
Oh,
As
is it
you
my
said,
turn
there
for
are
a topic?
there are a lot of games, but I thought I'd move us on by opening another beer.
Hurrah!
Fair enough.
Because I'm definitely ready. Because I have a large beer with me. It is Tiny the Welder, a can from Arbor. It is a double IPA at 8.5%.
Is that like is that a riff on Tiny the Elder?
I assume so.
Oh, yeah, I would assume so. Yeah. Pliny the Elder. Yes.
Yeah,
Double India Pale Ale brewed with the Curated, Simcoe and Summit hops by the bucket load. That's it.
I mean, last week I had their full pint can of all the Mo's.
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
was
which the bottle
great.
shop didn't have in. I would have picked it up, but they didn't have it in.
I don't know if you've seen that one that released by Arbor lately, Lucy.
No, I did pick up one of their cans, those big ones, over Christmas. It was the one in the pink can.
Was it a single hop, Mosaic single hop?
Yes,
IPA? Yeah.
it was exactly that.
I don't know what it is about just the because it's a pint can. It just it feels bigger. It just feels big.
I mean, it is big.
It is big, of course, but like in comparison to the bottle, I suppose when you're kind of weighing up your bottles and stuff, the bottle was kind of like nice and svelte. It had a nice neck on it and all that. A good sort of like a good form to it. But the can just feels fucking hefty.
Yeah, it does.
Especially
It's all compacted into that.
Exactly. The last beer was what, 440. It's not that much bigger, really.
Yeah.
But it just feels it. That I can get my hand around this one. Like if I spread my fingers, whole hands around that. This one's like, nah, mate. This is fucking at the top, at the bottom. Where's my hand gonna be? Like, what's going on?
I feel like
anyway, that's what I'm drinking.
We've just entered this weird twilight zone where Ben suddenly was recanting the dialogue from an episode of Sex and the City.
You could take it that way, definitely. I'm going to talk about how it feels in my mouth in a minute as well. So,
Yeah.
Lucy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking another. It's called. Is it called Alpha Inception? Or just
I don't know.
Inception? Yes, it's called Alpha Inception.
So that's just the dream, not the dream within the dream.
Yes. This is the first thing that Leonardo DiCaprio gets in, other than a bear. It's a West Coast IPA, 6%. Flavor text. Brewed with 5 hops from the west coast of the USA: Columbus, Simcoe, Citra, Amarillo, and Centennial. Pale amber with a light malty base and powerful citrus hops. So hopefully, a lot more hops packed into this one. Hopefully it's going to have a bit more of a fruity flavour.
Yeah. Nice. Aadil?
I am drinking from Harpoon in Boston, Massachusetts. The Dunkin' Donuts branded coffee porter.
What?
Yes. Which is also sat down here somewhere with me because it was in the latest Beer 52 box.
Yeah. One of the boxes I didn't ask for.
So you forgot to cancel again.
No, yeah. Well, to be fair, I cancelled. It just didn't take, and then I didn't re-cancel.
Have you got? Is there any flavor text with that one?
Love beer, love life. It is. employee owned. And they've
Cool.
been around since 1986. It's 28 IBUs, and it is 6%.
Okay.
Yeah, I was debating, like, porters tend to have a stronger, like, footprint, but that 9% IPA might, like, trounce my taste buds. But I think this is the order I should drink them in.
Yeah, that's fair. Nice. So, I'll jump back to this Tiny the Welder. I haven't really had much of it, but it's a big nose. Huge nose. You know, kind of...
We're still talking about Sarah Jessica Parker? I'm the worst.
She listens, she won't be happy.
Oh man, can you imagine getting an angry tweet from SKP? Big fan until now.
Yeah. Cancelled, unsubscribed, 1 star. So it's it's a big nose, and it's an unmistakably Arbor nose as well. It's a, you know, kind of a very hazy kind of orange colour to it. About a finger's worth of head, which is sticking around as well. Flavour wise, that's a nice big flavour. Getting a lot of fruit on there. Is it a little bit kind of orangey? It's kind of got this the fruitiness kind of has this slight dankness to it.
Yeah.
You know, just
It looks danky.
it definitely does, but it's kind of it's not that kind of, it's not that weedy kind of dankness to it. It's kind of that slightly soured fruit kind of dankiness to it. You know, you're hit by the fruit, but it's kind of just sort of, it settles very quickly and kind of mellows really swiftly and goes into this kind of this kind of danky, earthy kind of flavour,
like
sort of towards the end.
Fruit's been sitting in a bowl for a few days and just juice squished out of
and
it.
it's kind of that dankiness, kind of like a, you know, it's a nice kind of hoppy hit, really. I can't remember the hops, but it's difficult to kind of discern kind of what's kind of going on in this.
Right.
What was it? Acuanot, Simcoe, and Summit. Usually with the Acuanot, you kind of get that punching through quite a lot. It's quite a strong hop when it's matched with certain things, and gives quite a big kind of bitterness with it as well. This is really smooth. Like, I'm not getting much bitterness from this at all. It is that punchy, dank, fruity kind of flavour, which lasts, and that's, you know, that's kind of it. 8.5%, not getting that alcohol in there at all, really. It doesn't
Are they
have
known
that...
for their like strong beers? I've ever really had a strong.
I've had, so they've done a couple of stronger like stouts.
Right.
Is it Yakima?
Yes.
And then they did like a Super
That's
Yakima
the
or
one.
Yakima Valley
Yeah,
or
Super
Double
Yakima,
Yakima Valley, something
yeah,
like
was
that.
that
Yeah.
awesome.
Which was like an 11%
Yeah.
maple stout, maybe. But I don't think I've had many from these guys that are kind of big alcohol.
Just,
you know, they do a lot of
Just
single
known
hopped
for
IPAs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
was
of
saying
pale
the
ales.
Yakima Valley's like 7% as
Is
an
it?
American IPA.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's really nice to kind of have a big flavour, to have something that's not too bitter. I love my bitterness, but this doesn't kind of need it to back it up because the flavour sticks around. And a big flavour, big ABV, but you're not getting that ABV at all. It's just not coming through, really. Like, super easy to drink and dangerously so. A pint of 8.5% beer necked in the next fucking 6 minutes.
That's how it
Dangerous.
should be.
Lucy,
Yeah.
how's your Oakham? The second Oakham.
It's very clear like the first one. It's a bit more orangey, so it's quite appropriate that this one was in an orange can and the straw one was in a yellow can.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yep. Completely clear. It's got a slight orangey tinge to it. It's not as deep orange as yours, Ben, or the previous Tempest one you had a deal. But yeah, the head it looks a bit more tame now. But on the first pour, it was like very frothy and back 2 finger. But it's probably about half a finger white head now.
Okay.
Not getting anything on the aroma.
Oh.
Nothing at all. Maybe just a slight bit of orange maltiness, but that's if you really go in and like really inhale. But otherwise, not much. Taste wise, yeah, I can taste the malt for sure. Yeah, it's got that. It's not too malty because. What I find with some IPAs, especially when they say, "Oh, we're going for the," like that, they just tend to overpack it with too many malts. You get that very malty, almost like a red ale kind of flavour.
Yeah.
This one just pairs it back just enough, so it's not overbearing. Getting a slight bit of orange, but you're getting bit more fruitiness than the last beer, but not too much. Not really getting the most of all those hops that they packed into it. It's certainly not on the aroma, which is a shame. But
yeah,
not much in the taste either. It's like if you just told me this was just single hop Citra, I'd be like, yeah, I can taste a bit of orange, but that's it. Yeah, none of the other ones.
Did it have in it?
It has Columbus, Simcoe, Citra, Amarillo, and Centennial.
So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like going on in there.
Yeah. It's like, did they just put in a little teaspoon, like big batch? Because it's not a lot going on. It's not even that hoppy. Like it doesn't even have that effervescence in the mouthfeel either. So. And I am really drinking this probably at the right temperature. It's maybe probably about 7 degrees at this point, which is optimal for an IPA. But no, there's not much going on. It's pleasant. It's nothing offensive, but it's, as I say, it's just, I'd imagine that these are Oakham probably just gearing up to put these in like a supermarket. Not overly offensive, nothing too crazy going on, but easier to pack than their 500ml bottles. Yeah. So, but yeah, if I pick these up in a supermarket, I would not be, disappointed. I'd be like, yep, that's what I paid for. That's what I expect.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sounds like the sometimes when you describe someone as nice, it's meant not as a huge compliment, but not as a negative thing, but just like kind of plain and inoffensive. And one of the problems is like someone sets you up on a like you should definitely be my friend. She's really nice, and you're like, ooh, okay, she's nice, hey, and like, she could be nice, like, but there's those two meanings, and it sounds like you're describing one of those.
Yeah, I'd describe these as pretty boring. It's like it's not gonna, change the world, and I didn't expect it to. It's like we haven't had new beers from Oakham in ages. And it's like all that I've really had as a reference point is, yes, the ones, this was even before they had in the supermarket. Yeah, I like these beers, but they're nothing special. But yeah, so not really doing anything for me, but I didn't really expect anything else.
Okay,
fair enough.
That's fair. Aadil, we'll come to you for the Dunkin' Donuts.
So there's still a half finger of head on it. This is definitely an American-made beer, because a porter that has poured like 2.5 fingers of head and still hasn't quite died down is very strange.
You've been here too long, sir. You've been here too long, obviously.
It smells like generic American coffee. Like I mean that in a complimentary way, kind of like. When you smell a coffee porter, you get sort of some of the coffee notes, and like or even like an espresso stout, you get those like unique things. And one of the things I like about those types of beers is I enjoy that type of coffee, and it allows me to like sort of experience both spheres at the same time. The nose of this noses coffee in that like strict coffee sense, which is exactly what like a McDonald's coffee is.
Yeah.
Right, like or like these like just you go to a diner and you just have coffee, and it has the nose reflects exactly that, which to be fair is what's on the tin.
Okay.
A Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Dunkin'
This smells like a
Donuts,
Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yeah.
As a Brit who have never had, well, I've never had Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
No, no.
Well,
Right.
Dunkin'
I mean,
Donut.
we have Dunkin' Donuts in Canada, but I'm assuming it's like all the other ones. It is one of the least viscousy porters I've ever had. It tastes wet.
Yeah.
It is super fluid.
Because you expect it to be a bit lighter than a stout, but if it's just wishy-washy, then that's
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But it's 6.5%.
It should have some oomph to it.
But it definitely doesn't have that umph in the texture. Taste, getting a lot of the like burnt notes you expect from a porter, especially a coffee porter. But again, they're really like subdued.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of torn because this is what like generic shit coffee tastes like. It doesn't have that coffee depth, so the fact that this doesn't have that coffee depth seems accurate for
Yeah.
the Dunkin' Donuts. But also, I mean, except for the fact that you're mapping well to your label, there's not a lot going on. The most disappointing part right now is the fact that it's really fluid. It's very watery.
Yeah, it doesn't have that sort of viscous, viscous kind of nature to it.
And then when the coffee kicks in, it's sort of like, generic coffee taste, doesn't stay for very long, kind of goes away. Slight lingering bitter and roastedness on the finish, which lasts longer than the rest. But again, not a lot of nuance. It's definitely what it's on the tin, but again, I would never pick up the tin if Beer 52 hadn't sent it to me. We'll see. I think it might grow on me when I get used to, in the same way that like when you first have a sip of like diner coffee, you're like, oh god, right, this is the type of coffee. But by the end of the cup, you're like, free refill, please, because you get used to it, and then like so I'm wondering if that'll happen here for like the same reasons, which would be super interesting. Or it could just be like, no, that doesn't work because this is beer and it's just boring. So I'm gonna try and reserve a space near the end of this beer to reevaluate, so I remember to check in on that dynamic.
Okay. A good point to move on from. So, segments. Lucy, as you've kind of alluded to, you know, maybe you've done your segment with your most anticipated games.
We can class that as a segment. Yes.
Unless you have something else to talk
Exactly, unless you have anything else to discuss.
I'll briefly touch on two games. Very briefly. Because they're just...
Two games.
Two games,
Okay.
One's a mobile game. It's called After the End Forsaken Destiny. Which is,
really?
Yeah. It's got
Why are there so many words?
Yeah.
Now is it like a partial sequel to Forsaken Destiny? Or is it a partial sequel to After the End? Because it sounds like one of those used to be a game and tacked another shit.
No, I think it's like Far Lone Tales. It just doesn't make sense.
I still need to play that game.
You
do,
It's very
definitely
good. It's a sort of isometric puzzle game in the vein of kind of like if Monument Valley and the art style of like Hitman Lara Croft Go, like a little baby with a little bit of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. You can't jump, it's not a platform or anything like that.
Right.
You're just navigating around these little diorama puzzle thingies.
But you're a person thing?
You're a thing. You're not a person.
You're a character. You're not like
you're a character.
Those games where you as like a god entity are moving objects.
Yeah, and for that word, some kind of thing.
Okay. Are you a
okay?
Oh, do you ever find out why you're forsaken?
Has a story, but I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay.
But it's very well produced. It's got like little cutscenes in it. It looks very nice.
You'd imagine that the story revolves around whatever the character's Forsaken Destiny was, but after that,
That's what I want. You mean that
like
that
super
name
boring.
is-
Like goes back to his normal job,
yeah.
just shuffling papers.
It's like what would Acts 2 and 3 of the Matrix be if he took the blue pill?
Just pure bliss and steaks.
Yeah.
Except he wouldn't really understand how great that steak is because he's never had the pudding.
Why am I here? Just fucking Keanu constantly questioning his existence.
Oh no!
Never getting anywhere.
I don't think he's questioning his existence because he took the blue pill. So he hasn't really been convinced his existence is wrong.
Yeah, but if you work in an office job, you
No, but yeah,
definitely
his questioning-
contemplate your existence.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
do that
saying.
every
He
day.
just stood in the room like, why am I here?
Yeah, that's what I
Fucking-
say.
that was a bit more Duke Nukem
his
than fucking
questions
Keanu
are
Reeves. ladies and
super
gentlemen.
based in the real
Hey,
world. It's
baby.
like, what's up with this cop here?
That was a really good Keanu. Yeah, nice little mobile game. I think I bought it ages ago on sale for like either £1 or £2. I had to get used to the mobile controls because you are moving in like a 3D plane nonetheless. But yeah, it got a little bit of jank. A little bit of times where, you know, if you come out of the app, it's just like, oh yeah, we're just going to close the app anyway. And it's like, you know, you've got to start from the beginning of the chapter. Yeah, it was nice. I think it's well produced, but a little bit rough around the edges, but something to play. And it is another weird title for you lot. What's it called? Planet RIX -13.
Okay, so it's like an astronomical naming convention. So like the RIX star and the 13th planet in there, presumably.
It's like a 2D adventure game, pixel art adventure game that took me an hour, and I was like, yes, that's what I like.
Did you?
Super short done.
Yeah,
Were the adventures fun or just short?
I enjoyed it. It was short.
Yeah.
It was like point and click, like
So is it
inventory based.
fun or short, and your answer is I enjoyed it. It was.
I think it's like, you know, like if you were to pay, I don't want to attribute value to like, you know, quality and length and all that, but if you were to pay £10 for it, it's like, yeah, you'd be disappointed. But
Yeah, I don't know.
disclosure, I did get a code for it, but it is like $1.99. It's like an hour experience. Puzzles make sense. The puzzles are, you know, oh yeah, it's inventory based. If you like a point and click adventure,
Yeah.
short, like cool, yep, internet done.
Yeah.
Pixel art, I like it. Cool, nice, done. Because I
Excellent.
played full throttle remastered over
Oh yeah.
on
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. I didn't like it. I think it's definitely my least favorite LucasArts game. It's weird. Yeah, and those are my gaming adventures. Oh, I finished Fire of the Dragon. That's great. But
Oh nice.
that's
What,
20 years old.
all three of them?
No, just the first one. And
Okay.
I was very, 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 very happy. Such a good remaster. I'm going to be playing 2 and 3. It's just wholesome, you know? It's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just want to relax,
interesting.
don't turn off my brain.
Yeah.
I think that's the next game I need is something that's not super challenging, but the world.
Play Spyro. You know? But Treetops, that dragon. Still the bane of my existence 20 years.
But like, so I do like first-person games, but like, I don't want to jump straight, like I say, straight back into gaming because we all know I haven't played a game in a million years. But like, I'd like to play something that has like a mild challenge, but mostly it's like just the story dragging you along. And FPS
Planet
games.
RIX 13.
I could replay Ori actually.
I thought you said you just want something where you turn your brain off.
Yeah, but then I was like, or I could play something that I've like done before. That would be good. I never replay games.
No, neither do I. Play Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Oh, that's right, and I have that.
Oh, do
downloaded.
you?
Yeah, I bought it
Play
after
that,
you
man.
guys told me about it, and then I did the Aadil thing where I was like, when will I ever play this? Oh, one day.
Yeah.
One
If
day
you
when
want-
this PhD is over.
If you want to turn your brain off, well, you're still thinking about that.
Yeah,
Still, you know,
but like,
you know, small little bite-sized chunks. Honestly, play that game. I 100% that game twice because it's like.
Good. Aadil. Talking of games you haven't played, what's your topic of this week? I can't imagine it's a game you haven't played, but
It's like my topic was that thing that we talked about in the middle of Blue segment. If you could play any game, any movie from the late '80s, early '90s, pre-Matrix games, what would it be? And Lucy said Face Off. I said, and then she said Jurassic Park.
yes.
And I said Con Air, and you still didn't answer.
No, you're right.
So we're still in that segment because you never let go.
We've been like hovering around that segment all the time, exactly. And obviously, I've been thinking constantly about the perfect.
Oh, actually,
answer.
you did say a thing, but I'm going to wait if you remember what you said.
What did I say? Did I say Total Recall?
Yeah, you
White
totally
men
did.
can't jump.
Oh, fuck. Oh, see, that's the game I want in that era's, or maybe like a few years later. I want
it.
like an NBA Jam.
Yes,
for
yes,
NBA
exactly.
Jam.
Well, you're just, but there's only two of you.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson and Wesley. That's
Yeah.
it. The only two characters you can be. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a difficult one because there's so many like films which just wouldn't make good games.
We got a
That's why I
RoboCop
thought-
game, didn't we?
I mean, but that's
It's RoboCop. Yeah, RoboCop's 90s, isn't it?
But
Yeah,
that's why I
RoboCop
thought
had a
Con Air
game.
would actually work well because, I mean, Michael Bay films do have a sort of set piece after set piece, thin narrative
Yeah.
appeal that like video games could make sense of. The Rock, honestly, I don't think would be that great because the Bruckheimer influence made it a better film. So that like the why that works is all the character direct.
But
Con Air, you don't have that problem. They're all cardboard caricatures of everything.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're kind of moving towards a situation where you're getting on the level of something like Uncharted. You're doing that kind of that middling kind of level bit, and you're exploring. You're shooting, and then you get to a set piece, and that kind of works in the same sort of way. Obviously, in a film, it's a lot quicker than you get kind of within a game kind of structure, but if you move away from like the Uncharted experience, and you look at maybe like the games we did get kind of in the early 90s that were of these action films, they were most of the time kind of like 2D side scrollers.
Yeah,
and that's kind of
like
it.
the Jurassic Park Genesis game, which was
It's
fucking hard.
Was Jurassic like
How about Luigi's Mansion 3 set in the Casper universe?
Okay,
in the Ghostbuster, like dressed as a Ghostbuster,
yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's in the background
that,
talking you through it. Like you could.
Yeah, it's actually a Ghostbusters game, but because we know that what's his name won't sign up for any Ghostbusters stuff.
Fucking Bill
Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah.
They've just swapped Luigi in for him.
Oh, that'd be hilarious! Oh no! Oh, it cuts to him.
To be honest,
it
this
cuts
might
to
be
him
my
for this
recurring segment. I think I might just every week come up with a stupid pitch.
It
So
cuts to him for this witty take, and he's just like, whoa! Like, just doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on at all. Oh no!
Okay, and the other thing I had a thought
That
of
would
while
work
we
so
were
well.
talking was so going back to Con Air, you're playing as John Cusack's character,
Yeah.
Yes.
and your object is to
You're the cop, aren't
Jamal.
you? John Cusack was the cop.
it's Poca Con Air. And you have to catch Cyrus the Virus and Buscemi.
Do you find them just like in
comes
tall
out.
grass?
No, so the thing is,
Or
yeah, so you get
Find them in
to
the
area
desert.
where they all are, which is the crashed plane, and then the first one you meet is fucking Nicolas Cage, and he becomes your main monster to send at to catch the rest of them. It makes sense.
oh no, I don't want to play this game.
I mean, it would be awful.
But I just want to play a game which is basically Cage's like filmography, and all those films just jammed into one. It's like little vignettes, you know. Okay, now
Suddenly you're driving a car,
yeah.
and then suddenly you're kind of
Fighting the
facing off
bees.
against John Travolta.
Yeah, to be honest, like 20 minutes of gameplay is enough. Like sometimes these premises only have 20, 30 minutes of gameplay in them. Fucking yeah. Just string them all about.
They would. I'm sure someone could make a really good like. I'm sure someone's
Pageathon.
probably already done it. Yeah.
Probably. There's
It's
probably
like
a flash
like
game.
a WarioWare-esque Nicolas Cage game. Like as you say, yeah, you drive the car, then you fighting bees. Yeah. Turns up, then you hunt.
It's just, and then suddenly it's just a screen. It's that awful Nicolas Cage face, the meme one. It's like, it's just like everywhere. It's a loading screen, just it pops constantly all over your fucking screen. Just, oh, it's loading. Good. Okay.
Then you're stealing babies. Yeah, it would be great. I'd learn how to develop games just to make that game.
Man.
And there's a secret Superman level.
Ha!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No
And
one
that's
can
It's
ever
actually
access.
just Superman.
It's built in,
64.
but you can't get to it.
Yeah, Superman 64 with cages. They just paste
The
it
whole
over.
game just built in as a secret. Like,
Yeah.
I think we need
Have
to
to do the
release
Konami
a
code to
console.
access.
We need to release a console that is the Cage Mador 64, where the only approved games are based on Nicolas Cage franchise IP.
it would work. We'd sell loads.
Totally. To be honest,
We'd beat current rappers at their own
I mean,
game.
as long as it's not expensive, and it wouldn't have to be.
Yeah, 40 quid, done.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a Raspberry Pi in a nice little box.
Nicolas
I don't know
Cage
the box
face.
I would genuinely buy
Nicolas
it.
Cage face.
I'm not even joking. I'd buy that.
Oh, I would too. Even
plug
if there
a
was
control
only
pad into
like
his
6
neck.
games, and the promise of like 4 more coming for 10 total, I would buy that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Nicolas Cage has become the topic, and that's
Hey, man.
I like this segment.
that's the goal of
Very
every
good
fucking
segment,
episode. Oh,
Now that we've
dear.
introduced segments, you're aware that more of this tomfoolery will happen. 'Cause I'm like, shit, I've been writing all week. What can I say that will just hijack the conversation for 5 minutes?
I fully embrace this future.
It's good. It's good. So, let's move on then to the final segment, I suppose.
I don't know how
which
you
is mine.
segue from Nicolas.
It's the final.
I don't know.
segment.
I'm struggling to segue from it, but I wanted to talk about. We should probably have started with this one because it's not as
serious
cool
one.
as fucking Nicolas Cage.
Well, to be fair, no one knew that was coming.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, Lucy, you brought
Yes.
a collection of games to my attention, which is Meditations from Rami Ismail.
Oh, right, okay.
So I played the last few days.
Oh,
I didn't. I hate that I can't ever do it again. But we'll get to that.
I think you can next year. But that's a whole
Yeah,
year.
it'd be interesting to see when these games kind of recur. So, I kind of wanted to talk around the idea of this, but the idea of kind of like a curated collection of games and kind of like the delivery of this. So, for people that don't know what this is, Meditations is a client which you can download, which will give you a game a day.
short game.
And
Free game.
a free game, or so the ones that I played have been the first one was you're a dog and you're running through an environment and you can bark at the birds, and
I'm
you
liking
get to
all
your,
of these
As you
things.
do.
and you get to your owner, you know, like really really low kind of pixel art. The another one I played, again, a dog, but you're a ghost dog.
Imagine if they're all dog games.
Yeah. The Easter egg of
That's it.
meditation.
The theme is dogs, but like a baseball, kind of like a hand throws a ball, and you kind of move around the screen to get the ball, and you take it back towards the hand. But each of these are kind of preceded by this text, which gives you a little bit of background about, you know, from the developer about maybe why they made this game. So the one today was the dog getting the ball, taking it back to the hand, and the text that preceded it was essentially the developer saying when he was kind of younger, he would sneak down after bedtime to go into the dog's bed and kind of cuddle up with him. And it never says the word dog. It just essentially says like best friend.
Oh, yeah.
And says, you know, I would get out of my bed and I would go down to see my best friend and I would cuddle up with him at night. And I did this for years. And then suddenly, you know, my best friend he got ill. And then one night he was there. I woke up to go down to him and he was there at my bed and he got in with me. And then he was gone. And I'm like, fuck me, okay, that's fucking heavy. Heavy as fuck. And then suddenly I'm playing a game about a ghost dog catching a ball. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. And you know, like these kind of games are preceded
sweet,
by
though.
this.
Yeah, I didn't
completely. And I love this idea that I'm playing a 2-3 minute game which has, you know, obviously been made kind of not like on the fly, but kind of like as an experiment almost. You know, someone has kind of put this out as a very quick kind of experiment into what they can do and experience. And that I'm getting a new one each day.
Wow. So for those of you who don't know what it is and haven't Googled it yet, it's they found all 365 games for the year. They planned it before they started and released it. So there's no way to no one can apply to be part of it or whatever. It's all been planned fully, such that the entire experience can just go off without a hitch. But I think that also sort of reflects that, like, this has been well planned. This curation isn't ad hoc. This is like, and the fact that you get a game a day and then it burns the game, basically, like you don't get to replay things. So it's an interesting thing about consumerist culture. Maybe, like, to me, it's like, I kind of want to know what I've missed. Oh, probably doesn't matter because there's a game today. It's called meditation, so you know there is some thought to these structures.
Completely, and
he's been
it's
in
a
the
very
game industry
kind
for
of
a long time.
I love it.
And each of these games they're small, they're kind of thought provoking, they are very simple in kind of what you're doing. Essentially, you know, the controls are very simple. So it feels to me like, and I've done each of these whilst I've been working. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay. What is the game? I've then been doing a work for a little bit, and it's elicited a few different kind of emotions from me. And like, okay, this isn't something I would have experienced had I not have taken this kind of 5-minute break from what I was doing in my work. Like, it seems like a brilliant kind of way to kind of give me something during my day. And for me to not kind of then, you know, for me to work, play something like this and then keep working, and for me to not kind of reach for the control pad or go into the house and play something on lunch, or, you know, it's a lovely little break that kind of gives me a very bite-sized but kind of well thought out little experience that I kind of want from a full-blown experience, you know, from a full-blown game, from something that I'm kind of playing over weeks rather than in kind of one sort of sitting. So it seems that so far that this is kind of very well thought out, and I'm kind of excited to have the next, you know, for the year's worth of games kind of thrown at me. But it kind of had me thinking about this this kind of composed, kind of edited list of kind of games that I'm getting, or these experiences that I'm getting, and that it kind of seems strange that I haven't had this before, but actually we have had this before, because kind of like Humble Bundle kind of does this, you know, they curate the games that you're kind of getting monthly and stuff, maybe not to kind of the same level that Meditations is doing it, but it kind of like, I wanted to bring it up as a topic because I wanted your guys' thoughts on, you know, whether you play this or not, but your thoughts around the idea of having a curated list of games kind of given to you to kind of play through the, you know, through the year sort of thing. Whether you think that's kind of like a good idea, or whether it's kind of like, you know, sure, I play this, okay, I'll move on to kind of like the next thing. So
I think it's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, Rami's doing something new," and it's like, "Oh, this sounds interesting." I haven't yet checked it out. I've downloaded the launcher. Unfortunately, I haven't checked them out. But now that you've been saying this, Ben, I'm very much more inclined to even just set like, notification every day just to play, see what's on there. But yeah, just as you were talking, like as you say, humble. But this is a bit different, or even Games Pass. But it's like this is different because these are the first time these games have been out,
and sort of
for
the only time, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought it was a nice message on like the website, like just what it is to be a developer, like an indie developer, especially like putting out your work. You know, I wonder if it's going to be critiqued, if anyone's going to like it, if the message is going to, you know, resonate with people. And it's like, yeah, it sounded like that's already done. That was like with the dog thing. I mean, just even hearing the premise, that sounded really sweet.
I mean, part of me is like, oh, I wish I could play it, and the other part of me is like, I'm glad I don't have to go through that. The dog story sounds terrible.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure they're not already going to just be like sad, depressing tales, but yeah, like as you were talking as well, I was thinking of that. This is it. What's his name? Somebody Chew, Spelunky guy, who's making that like collection of like several games made by indie developers. And it's all going to be released as like one package, as one game.
Oh,
it's all these different experiences. I can't remember what it's called. But it's a dude who made Spelunky. He's basically acting in that, you know, Rami Ismail kind of role and curating all these developers and saying,
"Oh, interesting." It's like called UFO 50.
Yeah, 50 games.
50 faux retro games.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it just shows you like the power of the medium and just like authorship and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I think the key is like doing projects like these are what allows developers to do these very unique, interesting things, either gameplay or design or story wise, that they wouldn't easily be able to push, because like I have this interesting idea of a 5-minute story about a dog or whatever, and I'd like dealing with pet death from a different perspective, right? Whatever it is, right? But like, you're not gonna, even if you put that thing on, like, where else would you put that? Like Newgrounds,
Itch,
maybe. But again, even the Itch games are a little longer than these, aren't they?
No, Itch games can be like 5 minutes.
Okay,
I think Itch is like a really good way of finding.
I haven't delved into them, but like I think what's nice about this is that because it's curated and it's single presented, the spotlight is on that game today.
Yeah, completely.
You play it, you get to know it.
Yeah, it's much more of a concentrated spotlight, which is good. Yeah, but I can't stress enough how good Itch is. Like, you can sort by anything that you want, and like, oh, I want something that's 2D. I want something that's pixel art. I want something that's 5 minutes long, or 10 minutes long.
Filter?
Yeah, there's like new and popular.
New and I just want good. I don't want popular.
I'm sure there's a good one. It's like you can sort games by like if the dev wrote like a post-mortem after they made the game. It's like it's great. But yeah, as you say, the spotlight's on them. It's like being privy to like a game jam, because some developers do release their game jam games after the fact, but not always. But it's like a year-long game jam. It's like, not everything's just been thrown at me at once. Someone's given the spotlight. I can enjoy this game and not have all the noise of everything else.
Yeah, it kind of it makes me think of kind of like my medium, and like the idea that I could just throw up, you know, I get a project to design a house or something. Yeah. And on my website, I throw up not every single design for the house that I come up with, but every reasonable design for a house that I come up with, you know. It kind of allows us to kind of get into a creator's kind of mindset and maybe what they're thinking a little bit, and allow us to understand kind of how they approach things a little more than we do. You know, when you look at kind of the credits for a game. And you know, we speak a lot about, and we even mentioned it a few weeks ago, you know, the idea of that kind of like single developer, that actually there are other people who do things for them. This, I think, at least is a little bit more kind of straight from the mind of,
because they're such small experiences, it's probably just one person doing it.
Yeah. So you get to understand that person just a little bit kind of more through this experience, which I like about it. And it makes me think, you know, at least the few that I've experienced, that I'm kind of thinking, okay, so what else has this person done? What else have they worked on? Where else have they kind of had influence?
Which I assume is the whole point, right?
Yeah, well, I don't, you know, I don't know really.
Well, not the whole point, but it seems like a stronger reason to throw yourself into the ring for this would be people see my unique idea and they might be curious. What else I do?
Yeah. Completely. And whether that's an itch.io kind of like search or just a Google search, just to see sort of like what else they've worked on, you find out that everyone in this has just been pulled from, you know, one Assassin's Creed game or something like that. But highly doubtful, but maybe.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because once you've been working on such a massive project for many years, if you are one of those developers, you know, you do want to flex those creative muscles. It's like, I've been designing a cathedral in Assassin's Creed Unity for 4 years of my life. I'd like to make something else. And this gives them the creative outlet for
completely.
it, which is cool.
It's nice
without having to go indie and make something, you know, from the ground up.
And it's nice to have that outlet. And to be able to kind of be regarded in that way and included in kind of like a collection of games, that you're not just throwing out stuff on itch to kind of not be seen by very many people, because, you know, people don't kind of know your name, and it's very difficult to kind of break through as a single developer in that kind of way. So to kind of be included in this seems very kind of like interesting from kind of all sort of parties, from consumer and from kind of creator, to see kind of how that changes the relationship between kind of people. And it's until you'd mentioned it, Lucy, it's not something I'd heard of, and this was
really?
Like 4 or 5 days ago, so we were already, this must have launched on the 1st of the year.
I heard about it late last year, like very late last year, because Rami tweeted about it, and I follow him religiously because I love everything that he says. But yeah, and I was like, I'll think about that later. And I was like, oh crap, I need to download that. And I did it. I haven't checked them out, but we got another 350 or something days to the rest of the year. So, I mean, as long as I catch a few. Yeah, it is a shame that there's no archive, but
I think
next
that's
year
important.
Repeat. I think it is too. It's like, I really liked that dog game. I want to show my sister whose dog recently died just to make her cry or something like that. I want to. So.
But I mean, it guarantees that spotlight, and also guarantees that you don't have like backlog platform fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more likely to start this than itch, even though I'm interested in both. When I want to play a short thing, because it's kind of like
it's presented right there in front of you.
Exactly.
It's not like
Netflix problem of it takes you a half hour to figure out what to watch because there's too many things to look through and add to your list.
Yeah. It's like going through a Chinese takeaway menu. It's like there's about 600 things on it. I mean, instead of someone's just going like, "This is a nice thing on the menu. Here, have it."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember back in the day when restaurants just had a daily menu. No, you don't, because you weren't alive when that was a thing.
No.
No one was. No one here was. I have been to restaurants which do that, like a chef's menu, but that's either a really posh place or a really hipster place. But I mean, it's really weird when you think about the fact that like restaurants, because they couldn't get ubiquitous supplies, would just, this is what we're serving today. Tomorrow we're serving something else.
I mean, it makes sense.
we'll probably see an uptick in this type of thing post Brexit because of
would
no
imagine.
choice.
We only have spam.
Yeah.
That's
Spam today, spam tomorrow.
Spam potatoes. We're done.
Yeah. No, not
We have
potatoes.
swan surprise.
Irish
The surprise
style.
is you're being arrested.
Oh, what other animals are given some
depressing.
kind of special credence by the Queen? None, I don't think.
None.
Anyway,
Because Jaguar, well, they're going away. Well, people losing their job.
slightly animal related, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
yes. To kind of round out this conversation, would Lucy first, but to kind of both of you, would you like this more? Would you like a kind of curated set of games, kind of like more to experience?
are you backdoor piloting our Patreon?
Because we're gonna make games about.
No. If you sign up,
dogs.
we'll just tell you what the good game to play is, so you don't have to. That's it. £5 a month, and we'll say play this game.
There is actually like is it? Are they called Sock Pop Collective? I think they're called. They actually have a Patreon, and it's like anyone who signs up to their Patreon. They make a game a month or something.
Oh,
Okay.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And it just like supports that money, that funding. It goes into
Go
their
straight to making that game. Yeah.
their actual like big premium game, and it's like, oh, just to thank you as patrons, we're going to release a new game for you every month, like short little experience.
So like
Cool.
Bloodstained, essentially.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah.
But then they charge you for the game.
Hey, that's the best £8 I spent last year. I'll tell you that. So good. I watched the speedrun for that, and oh yeah, AGDQ is going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't live in the streamosphere, I just I have never really observed a lot of these things. I bet they're super.
Yeah. Oh god, they're really, really. I could just spend all day just watching
part of it
even
is-
games I don't care about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, part of it is I haven't played a lot of these games, so I don't know what
They explain it on the way because they have like commentators. So.
Yeah, I know, but it's just this anal retentive part of me that I'm trying to shut down on a daily basis. It's like you don't know how difficult it is, so if you try and play the game, then you know. So like, I would love to watch a Celeste run through because I know I haven't played too much of that game, but I know enough to know how that game works.
Yeah, I just love all the weird glitches they find.
Oh,
and,
I
like,
really enjoy that stuff.
so interesting. It's like this is the first time I've actually been able to, because usually I have to catch it on the archive. But this is the first time it's like, yes, I'm able to catch it, because the first one was like Hollow Knight speedrun. And I was,
Yeah.
What did you just do?
oh my god. I was just like, this game took me 40 hours. He completed like 40 minutes. It's just like- yeah, really good. Check that out if you can, and donate. It's a good cause.
Nice.
But yes, I'd like to see more collections like this. To answer your initial question. Yeah, it's just depending on how much.
I'm really
time.
bad at the mute button. I apologize to everyone.
It's
It's on the
alright.
back of the mic.
They come quick and fast. Those things.
So, Aadil, you kind of like, would this, would this help for you to have kind of like a curated kind of like list of games, especially if you're
The short. Sorry.
I was going to say, especially when you're kind of like pressed for time.
That's why I said the short.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, it's not. I wasn't wrong, but I was still being a dick by not letting you actually finish your thought. Yeah, no. So I was actually thinking. So as Lucy pointed out earlier in the week on our Discord, which is open to the public and you should join. the
Is
Open
it?
Lives Network
People can
Discord.
see what I say. Oh, God. I better stop hurling
We
all
call
those
everyone a
racial
cunt,
slurs
like,
everywhere.
everyone can see that.
So the Discord tells everyone when I'm playing Hexels.
Yes.
Yes.
I did get that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And Lucy called me out on it, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot it does that." And then what's worse is my friend Arsham, who I recently added to Steam, and he apparently actually pays attention to Steam. Steam, of course, tells people that he's like, "What is this Hexels game that you keep playing?" I'm like,
No. Don't tell him. You might go down.
No, it's fine. I mean, the reason why I keep playing it on the daily randomly generated puzzle is because I know it won't. It should take me less than 5 minutes. If it's a tough one, it'll take me less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's because as soon as I have a couple mistakes, I reset the map. Like if I just brute forced it, it would take me under 5 minutes every time, but that seems wrong. And it's a way to clear my head.
Yeah.
I'm like really bouncing around. I'll distract myself with a short something. It helps that this is a logical game. But I've also played a couple like rounds of Kami. But my problem is I suck at some of those puzzles. And it was just like I hate the silver badge in that game. I want to know how to make this thing right. And it's like, oh, this is a good puzzle game for me because I will try and pass every level. But it's a very bad puzzle game for me for clearing my head so that it can start to work. Because then it's frustrated. But like these things, because it seems perfect if it's like only a couple minutes and it's a variety of things. And it's clearly different. So it's like, okay, I'm all over the place. Let me just focus on a thing. Then that thing will stop because it's going to be done. So I'm going to try and do meditations literally in the like mindfulness meditations way it might be like aimed at, and try and use that as when I'm frazzled or at the beginning of my day where I really need to focus and just bash out a lot of writing, getting sort of my brain on the right page of focusing on a thing. I'm going to try these things.
Yeah. It seems like a very good way to do that as well. Super short experiences that may just kind of allow you to get that energy, to get that kind of unfocused kind of thought out, to then be able to kind of just hone in on what you're doing completely. That's how I've used it, exactly how I've used it.
It's a very simple launcher. I wish you could just like set it so it like just flashes. It's like, okay, it's 12 o'clock, time to play this game now.
Yeah, well,
do you have a
set
map?
a reminder.
I
do, but I don't use it anymore.
So the Macs have the Automator app built in, which will literally launch an app at a certain time.
Yeah, that's useful.
I'm sure there's a similar thing on the Windows. I just don't know.
Probably.
I would imagine so. It's just hidden so deeply that no one knows.
Like everything in Windows.
If it's a Linux machine, then you just have a cron job.
Yeah, I was like, where is the search tab? I was like, where's the search tab? Google, how do you get the search tab? And I've Googled that probably like 6 times in the last year. It was like, oh, it's under Cortana. It's like,
oh, Lucy,
just right click search.
No, Windows key S.
Yeah, because I knew that as well. I was like, I'm sure there's a shortcut key. Yeah. And I was going, is it Windows and the space bar? I can't remember. It's like,
I mean, so I don't use my Windows machine that often. But that's what I had to figure out, because then even to find out like things like add and remove programs or whatever, you just use search is now reasonable. It's like Spotlight. So Windows S and then settings or add/remove will get me what I need.
Yes. S for search, Lucy. Remember this time. It's like
just like a lot on browsers and stuff. It's like on Chrome, it's like Control F.
Control F always almost. Yeah,
because S is save. So, but like most of people's computing use is fucking browser based. So your shortcuts are S is save, F is find, and then the fucking Microsoft's like, no, we're gonna have S as search. It's like, can you just acknowledge that the primary thing isn't your thing, and it should be Windows F for find.
Well, completely, but if you hit Windows F, it just reverts you back to Windows Vista. So don't do that.
And you can never go back.
So it's a good place for us to finish this week. We've all drank some beers, we've all played some games, but on the beers we've had this evening, Aadil, out of the two you had, which did you prefer?
I reserved this.
Oh, the last swig of the Dunkin Donuts Porter.
Yep, it still tastes the same. It didn't grow on me the way diner coffee grows on me.
Okay.
The problem is it tastes like a generic coffee porter. It's exactly what I thought it would be, given that it's a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. But there's no reason to aim for this.
Okay.
Also, because it's like I would be mostly okay with it because not all coffee porters or espresso stouts or whatever use really fancy coffee. So sometimes you do get sort of a flatness to the coffee taste. But they're not making up for that with like interesting malts to like complement that coffee taste. That it's mostly focusing on the bland coffee and also that texture, that like really liquidy texture is just not what I'm looking for when I reach for one of these things.
Yeah.
If I wanted this taste, I would just get a generic coffee from a shitty coffee.
What happens if you dunked a donut in?
I didn't buy a donut. I'm gonna have to, Lucy.
Yes.
I know you have a can of this.
Yeah. Shall I buy a donut?
I was saying now you need to buy a donut and tell us about what that experience.
You know when I last ate a donut?
Standard glazed donut.
Yeah.
I think I last ate a donut in 2000.
Wow. I guess
donuts
are not
what a
really
statement, mate.
No, I don't know. The last time I ate a donut was when Krispy Kreme
came to the UK.
It came to the UK in the Bullring in Birmingham.
That can't be that long ago.
Every time the light came on, you got a free donut, and me and my friends would just stand outside the donut. And I don't even like donuts, but if something's free, I always take it.
Yeah.
Can't say no.
2005.
So, Aadil,
Yeah.
you basically said why you didn't like one beer. You haven't said anything about the beer you might like.
We haven't gotten to the point where I'm giving you my choice.
See, I derailed.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I don't think it was derailed, but Ben can't take me to task for the conversation going ahead. I'm not allowed that. I really enjoyed the Tempest as well. I'm still shocked that it's 9%. It's one of the most hidden alcohol percentage beers I've had in a while. It had, and I think part of that might be because it's going for that sort of marmalade-y feel, like the extra viscosity and texture you get off of a higher alcohol beer. It makes sense with this taste.
Yeah.
So I don't think I was noticing or paying attention to it that way. I'm like, oh yeah, this is part of that whole zesty, slightly gingery, interesting. I guess the one thing is, you did get a bit of the rye taste, but the fact that they called it the Marmalade on Rye IPA, I get that, and I had the rye taste. The only complaint I have about this beer is it was much more on the marmalade, sort of strong orange zest, orangey taste, and you kind of have to look for the rye.
Now I want marmalade on toast.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good present you got him then, Ben.
I mean, so if you hadn't noticed, this is basically what I consider my breakfast choice of beers.
a good 8 a.m. beer.
But can you imagine going to like a diner and having like a fucking like handcrafted marmalade on like, homespun rye bread, and then like the most generic bland coffee possible?
I gotta say, I do enjoy that you pick breakfast beers for this week. Yeah.
Well, it's morning in Canada.
So just to be clear, I'm choosing the Tempest over the Harpoon.
Yes.
Good, Lucy.
You know when
two Oakham ales.
You know when I usually say, "Oh, I'm not picking this week. I'm going to have them both as my favourite because they were both."
Is this the inverse of that?
That's the inverse of this. I abstain.
Oh shit! Oof. I mean, I've had to pick that too. I get you.
I abstain. But the session, it actually grew on me a bit more because I put them in the fridge. The fridge is at 5 degrees at this point, but it's a bit cold, so it's probably took it out about 4 degrees, and it was still a bit cold when I was drinking them. But letting it warm up, the bitterness subsided a little bit, so it wasn't. I mean, it was very bitter. It's like I like bitter, but it's like, goddamn, this is very bitter. So that waned a little bit, and the like the lemon at the start came into the fore a bit more, so it was a lot more drinkable as a session beer. When it warmed up to probably about 6-7 degrees.
Right.
But there's nothing really great about them. Like, Sorry, but yeah. And
Fair.
what I should just do is like, yeah, do this, take a picture, send it to Oakham. It's like, hey, your
I
beers, but I want
Okay,
to win the
in this
competition.
Case, so my jokey response of you like crushing the beer like people sometimes do if they're polishing after a beer crushing a can and then taking a picture of just the crushed can. They might not understand that you're doing that because you're like, fuck this beer. They'll think you're like, I'm a badass. I drank
I
your beer.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to send that picture.
Or a picture kind of like just of you, like just your legs in bed with a couple of empty cans kind of like on the floor next to you, like, oh, she drank loads of them that she went to sleep. No, they're so fucking boring that she went to sleep.
Yeah, they put her to sleep. That's awesome. Oh, that reminded me, I forgot to take pictures this week.
Oh yes, we're meant to be doing that. I've already crushed this can.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You can put that picture.
Fuck it.
Oh, I've got
I
a
haven't,
picture.
I haven't
I've got
used
another
Untapped
picture.
for a little while, so
Yeah,
I don't even know why I'm bothering.
The reason I brought that up is because I think I'd like to even if you guys don't talk to people or whatever, post your pictures on
Don't talk to
the
anybody.
Tank Up Instagram. Because there's actually reasonable beer presence there, and it'd be really easy for us to all just post whatever our pictures are. Then it's just post it. Who cares? And I have noticed some of our colleagues on the beer sphere use Instagram quite a bit. And figure we could join this.
Oh, Instagram.
So listeners, you already follow us on some social medias like Facebook. That page is now gone. You're on outoflives.net. On the Twitters. On the Untapped.
I got
now
so many weird
Instagram,
messages from Instagram or sorry, from Facebook.
We're hipster.
Hipster
Pickup's
book. Yeah.
gonna get deleted. Are you sure about this? I'm like, oh, I guess, and actually followed through. Cool, but it kept telling me like, I don't know, buddy.
It tells you about it 6 times. It's like, are you sure? Are you really sure? Are you sure?
Do you really want to delete
Come
this page? Like,
on.
yes.
Please.
Otherwise, I wouldn't click fucking yes.
We love you.
Stay with us.
Yeah.
We can help you grow your audience. Like, nah, I'm alright, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it does ask like 8 times. It's like, come on, Mark. I don't want my Facebook here. Stop stealing my data.
And it's clearly him. Every message.
Yeah, it is him every time.
That's all he does now. That's his only job. Just getting people
I
to
can
stay on the
imagine him just
platform.
sitting there in a dark room, just clicking. Are you sure? Are you very sure? Just sending prompts.
He doesn't even write a message. Just clicks a button like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, and then he takes your IP address and just you crashes it so you forget.
Swots you instantly.
Yeah.
So Instagram, Aadil, we may be on there.
Yes,
I'll follow you.
we officially have an account I just got, which is Tanked Up Cast. I literally got it live on the podcast because Tanked Up is taken, but Tanked Up Cast isn't. So we're Tanked Up Cast on Instagram. I am moving, and I don't know when next time I'll have a beer, so I will send them the details of the password and whatnot. But probably next week when we drink beers, we'll have some postings.
I don't know how to do filters, so.
I don't want filters.
But isn't that
I don't know what you're
Instagram?
talking
I thought that people just because how else like all my pictures look like crap.
That's fine. It just has to. It's always like crap beer. That's fine.
But everybody's like when I go on there, it's like, oh my god, this brewery, the beer looks so nice and juicy because they have about 6,000 filters.
You just
on
put
it.
a slightly orange filter on it. It'll be juicy.
I did that. I did that for I actually have an Instagram account.
Oh, do you really? I don't even. Okay, what's yours? Fuck that. I gotta know what Lucy.
Mate,
follow
I've never
you.
used fucking Instagram. I've got a fucking clue.
I did just to follow brewery.
What's your Instagram, Lucy?
It should be Beer Resistable, I think.
Oh,
I set it up like
Oh god, I don't
moving
remember how
away
you
from the
spell-
Juicy Loose 9 convention.
I don't remember how you spell beer.
nobody
Resistable.
neither do.
So
I think it's
before we
E-I...
get into
Something
plugs,
like that.
my favourite beer was the Arbor Tiny the
I
Welder.
know. What was your favourite?
Very easily
Yeah.
for me this week.
Yeah.
Super, super beer.
Yeah,
Excellent.
the other one was all over
2
the
weeks in
place.
a row we had a new Arbor because all the Mo's. I don't know if you've seen it, Lucy. It's the Mosaic, Motueka, and Motuera hopped beer from Arbor called All the Mo's. and it's fucking great. I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's got Mosaic in there, so I'll be looking.
Yeah,
at
I mean
that.
that's why I brought it up specifically to you,
yeah.
because I know you didn't listen last week.
Yeah, I mean, we're telepathic. Remember, I knew everything.
Sorry, yeah.
Exactly that.
So
I
it's
don't-
an easy
where-
choice for you,
do I
Ben.
have Instagram on here? Maybe I deleted it.
I didn't mean to hijack things this badly. We can finish that part of the conversation off air.
Maybe we'll finish it now. Yeah, Tiny the Welder, the best player for me. So, Aadil, if people want to talk to you, how do they do so?
I'm at the Omniarch, TheOmniarch, on all of the things, including Instagram. If who knows, when I finish this PhD, I might start streaming, in which case you might care that my Twitch is _Omniarch. You can reach us at tankedupcast@gmail.com. We are on the Out of Lives Facebook page, Out of Lives Network Facebook page, as Ben mentioned earlier. Tanked_up_cast is our Twitter. Tanked_up_cast is our Instagram. And that's all I can think of outside of your two plugs.
Nice. Lucy.
I may have Instagram. I just don't actually know what the icon looks like. It may be on my phone. I don't know what the Instagram icon looks like. If you send me Untapped, it's like, yeah, it's yellow in the bottles, but
Yeah.
It's like a reddy, orangey square with a circle on it.
I definitely don't have it then. Anyway, Juicy Loose 9 everywhere. Untapped, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam.
Oh, what's your Twitter these days? You just
Juicy
swapped
Loose
your...
9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Juicy Loose 9, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben?
Nice. I'm similar. I'm Nova, Nova _47, almost everywhere you can think of. You can play some games with me. You can tweet me about games, or I'm getting super into photo mode. Images at the moment. That's kind of like all I'm looking at on Twitter currently. Really, just super excellent shots on.
Yeah, I'd be
certain
curious
games, like.
to see if photo mode had a huge presence on Instagram just because it's photo based.
Yeah.
So that would be a reason for you to use Tanked Up Cast.
Oh yeah, that would be a really
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah, because
yeah.
you take some amazing photos and video games that I just could never even strive to.
I mean,
Right.
and that's the thing I love doing, and I used to do just with the print screen button
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
You lot have got creative eye.
What was it, F11 on Steam? You can just hit F11, takes a screenshot.
Oh, wow.
You could
It'd
hit,
help
grab
if I
my
played
phone and then aim it at my Switch and push the screen.
Yeah, I like the Switch one. It's I took
Yeah.
like 1,000 pictures of like Greece.
Oh, I bet. I really want to play that game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
How
it's
long
pretty
was it
nice.
again?
About 4 hours.
Yeah, that's right. It's going higher on my list for the 4 hours.
Far Lone Sales is also about.
That's true. Yes, it is.
And that so it's I'm probably going to be low overhead computer game guy for a while because I don't know where I don't actually remember which suitcase box the PlayStation is in, let alone when I will get access to a room, let alone when I can set up everything. So even if I was going to take a break to play video games, I don't know how to make that happen.
You can only play Mac-enabled small meditation experiences.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
The Tanked Up Cast Instagram now has 1 follower.
Oh man, you found it!
Yay!
Oh, which is great because now I can just look at that to figure out what your name is.
You can look at
and
all
then-
my photos,
Exactly.
which is just
Facebook
lines
has
of
its
beer.
claws in another person.
22 posts, 11 followers. Who are these people? Oh, Aadil.
Oh, I'm already following you.
Oh, Balls and Books. I'll follow them. They're good guys.
They are
Nice.
good guys.
Oh,
So
Jimmy.
whilst everyone explores their
Oh.
Instagram accounts
Yeah,
for another week, we've been
we
danked up.
definitely generated this week.
Yes, goodbye.
Bye.
Ciao.